Okay, I would like you to look at the list of words on the board. First off, somebody read the list. Who can read the list? Riley?
Difference, conference, refer, referring, infer, referee, different, offered, inference, reference, confer, suffering.
Excellent. Somebody explain to me what we mean by when we use the word difference. What is that really, how would we use it? What does it mean? Luke?
That it has, like, it's different than something else.
Well, if you use the word different to define difference, I still don't understand what you mean. Olivia?
Not the same.
There we go. Something's not the same. The difference, and if I say the difference, what part of speech is difference going to be?
Noun,
And how do you know that?
because it's talking about the difference, or
If I say the difference, what does the word the tell you about the word difference?
The means that a noun is coming up soon.
That's right. So I've used a determiner right in front of it, and if I can do that, I've got a noun, right? So I know that's a noun. What's the difference, right? That's a big difference. Okay, what's conference? What's conference? Alex?
A noun.
A noun, and what is a conference?
It's like a meeting.
Very good. Okay. How many people are at the meeting?
More than two.
Just one?
More than two.
Okay, would have to be more than one person, right? What does the prefix con bring to the word? A sense of together. So it is where you have a meeting and people come together to talk. Okay, excellent. Refer. Now are we talking about a noun? Are we talking about a noun now?
no.
Oh, what part of speech are we talking about now? We took off the ENCE suffix and we changed the part of speech. What part of speech do you think?
Is it an adjective?
Could we use it that way?
An action verb.
Ah, yeah, now it's a verb. We took off the ENCE suffix and now we have it. I'd like to refer you to somebody in the office. Right? What if I don't have the answer? Somebody comes in the building and says, I really need to know about blah, 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 and I don't know. Let me refer you to the office. What does that mean when I say I want to refer them to the office?
You want to like tell them to go to somewhere that actually might know.
Great. I want to point them in that direction, right? I want to give them that knowledge that they can find somewhere. I want to take them from here to there, okay? What about preferring? Tanner, preferring. What is that? What does it mean?
Like when you sort of want something more than something else.
Very good. Yes. I'm preferring strawberry to banana, which is probably not true. I like them both together. All right. What about infer? I bet you have heard Mrs. Davis use this word. Probably less this form of it as a verb, but probably more so the noun.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Maybe like pointing something out, talking about something.
Okay. You want to add some?
Guess.
Yeah. You're thinking about what's being implied there. What is being said without really coming out and saying it. Okay? And what's this? Referee. Look.
The person who calls fouls in a basketball game.
Okay. Yeah.
Or soccer.
Or soccer.
Soccer's
Okay.
the penalties.
Where does the referee work? The referee is on which side? On which team?
Neutral.
Neutral. Kind of between the two teams, right? Trying to be that fair ground between the two. All right. Different. Now what's different? If difference is a noun, what's different?
Then difference.
What do you think, Kate?
Like one thing is the opposite of the other thing.
It could be the opposite of something. What part of speech do you think it is? Put it in a sentence in your head and see if you can imagine what part of speech it's going to be. Joe?
Could it be a
I'm trying to think, what's the thing that describes something else?
Somebody help him out.
An adjective?
Adjective, yeah, yeah. Put it in a sentence. Let's hear it in a sentence where it's an adjective.
David is a different species.
David is a different species. I like it. Okay, so the ENT suffix takes us to an adjective. Okay. And now this one, offered. What is that? Grace.
Referring something, says something else.
Okay, all right. Zoe.
Like you give something to someone?
Yeah, and you kind of give it freely. It's not, when you offer, it's supposed to be with like, okay, you can have that, right? Inference. Inference. We've kind of talked about infer when it was a verb, but now it's not a verb anymore. Riley?
Like, when you compare something. Wait, no. I'm thinking of another one.
Yeah, that's okay. Luke?
Well, since it has the ENC suffix on it, it's a noun.
Okay.
Pretty much means the same thing.
Right, so we're going back to that, I guess, about what is being implied in the reading that we're doing. Reference. Reference. Kate.
Like information about something?
Very good. Do you guys have a reference book in your math room?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have a reference book in here?
Yeah.
We got a whole cart of them, don't we? Can an atlas be a reference? Yes, it definitely can. Can an encyclopedia be a reference? Yeah. If you go to any library, they have a whole reference section, and it's all sorts of different kinds of information for you. Okay? Confer. Now it's a verb. What does it mean? You go to a conference and you confer with people. What does that mean? What does that mean? Grace?
Talk with people.
Yeah. And that C-O-N? Coming together?
Coming together to talk.
Yeah, great. Suffering. Suffering. Tice.
Like, it could be like something hard to do.
Something's hard to do? Okay. What would you add to that?
Hurting?
Hurting. Yep. Would it be physical?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Would it be emotional?
Yes.
Sometimes. Sometimes. All right, excellent. Now, we have talked about the meaning, which is always the most important thing. I never want you to look at a list of words and play with them and notice that you understand some of them and you don't understand others, but just go ahead anyway. I always want you to make sure that you are finding out about words you don't understand. We understand all of these now, right? Who feels confident to come up here and underline the base in every single one of those words? Who feels confident to do that? All right, Haley. Now let's see what she underlines. Oh, nicely done. Look at that. She doesn't have any hesitation at all, does she? That is great. All right, who feels like they could get a start on a matrix up here on the board? And we would, of course, start with the base, wouldn't we, if we're building a matrix? So matrix. Tanner, come up and start it by putting the base. Isn't that the first thing we put on a matrix? Now, while he's writing that, who's going to come up with the denotation of this base? Oh my gosh, this is nice. There's a lot of hands up. What's the denotation?
To carry?
Excellent. Would you write that underneath? Put it in quotation marks. All right. How do we separate, when we're making a matrix, separate the base from the prefixes and the connecting vowels and the suffixes? How do we separate those?
You put them like in little squares or boxes.
Okay. How do we separate this from the prefixes?
A rectangle.
A rectangle. Would you draw a rectangle around our base? All right. Now, who would like to come up and make sure that the word difference was represented on this matrix? I'm going to make sure the word difference gets represented here. Okay? Krista? Come on up.
Wait. I don't know. I don't really know what.
Oh, okay. All right. Luke, come on up. All right, do you agree? Yeah. We've got the prefix over to the left because that's what we would refer to first. And then we can add the base, and then we look at the suffix, which is over to the right. All right. Now, would you also erase the word difference from our list here? We're going to just work down the list, get all of them on there. Who's going to put conference up here? Bryn? And while she's working on that, who's going to be ready to come up and do refer? Riley? Oh, I like that. Did you see how she went and then stopped herself? Why did she stop herself? It's already there. Do we need to list the suffix more than once? No, we don't.
I know.
So all Riley had to do was add the prefix RE. Who can put preferring? Make sure that it's represented on here. Christoph? Guys, go around.
Yeah, go on this way.
Thank you. Well, put it up before you erase it, in case we need to talk about any of these. And could you not use a capital, just use a P with a descender, a regular, small case? Okay. Does anybody question what Christoph just did? David?
Well, I could see why someone would, because you'd see for referring, it's double R at the end, but that's because it's a vowel for I.
Okay.
That's why you're double.
Actually, I just did it as a spelling mistake. I didn't mean to.
Excellent.
Just bad handwriting.
Yeah, some people would do that. Some people might do that. And I like how you said that. I could see how that would happen. Let's look at that just for a moment. If we have PRE plus our base, FER, plus our suffix, okay? Yeah, we need to look and we see have a vowel suffix here. And we might double this. But what word over there should follow the same thing and isn't? On the list. Not anything you put up here already, I don't think. I'm looking at that list. If this is true that this R is doubled because we have a vowel suffix, then I think there's another word or two on this list where we should be questioning why isn't it doubled. David?
Referee.
Referee. So we're adding a vowel suffix. Why aren't there two R's? What's another one? Actually, suffering. Why aren't there two R's on suffering? Okay. Krista?
I don't think diff is a prefix.
DIF?
I think it's just DI. And then a double F.
Oh, what an interesting thought. So if it's DI, then we should be spelling difference as DIFERENT.
Yeah, but then you have to add another F.
If we're going to add another F, it would make more sense that it would be on the prefix, rather than just throwing one in for good measure. Right? Can we think of other words that have a DIF prefix?
Difficult?
Difficult. That's the exact same one that popped into my head. And difficult also has a DIF prefix. So I'm glad you brought it up. But yeah, I think we can go with a DIF because we can think of another example where we have one. So anyway, we have to think about this. Why are we doubling the R in prefer when we're adding that, but we aren't in other places? We're using the same base in the same situation in the same vowel suffix. Here's what I want you to do with the word prefer. I want you to say, everybody say the word prefer. Prefer. Okay. Which syllable in there is being stressed? Is getting the stress. I didn't say being stressed. Getting the stress. Which one? All right. I want you to say it as if you're calling somebody by that name. Prefer. You can hear yourself putting the stress here, can't you? Right there. Prefer. I prefer that. Put the stress here once and see how weird the word sounds.
Prefer.
You would almost even wonder what word that is, right?
No, Chris is not
So, how is this now? Let's look back over here and let's look at one of these. Let's look at offered. Say the word offer.
Offer.
Okay, call it.
Offer.
Where's the stress?
F-E-R.
So if it's an FER, then you're saying offer.
Offer.
I would like to offer you something.
That's kind of weird. Offer.
Is that how we say the word? We usually say, I want to offer you something. I want to offer you something. So the stress is here. Uh-huh. Let's look at another one on this list. Let's look at...
I think we put the RR on the for because of the stress, because instead of saying like if it was just a 1R, I think we would say like the preferring instead of instead of preferring. Instead of you put the double R in there so you know the stress is there.
Oh, well, or we double the R because the stress is there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Let's look at another one of these. If we look at different, look at that vowel suffix, right? Let's just write out the word. And now we're going to add the ENT suffix, and we're wondering, are we supposed to double the R or not? Where's the stress on differ?
Differ. F-E-R. Differ.
Defer?
Differ.
Differ.
D.
Call it.
Differ. Differ.
Do we say defer or do we say differ?
Differ.
We say differ. So where do we put the stress?
D-I-F.
On the first part, right?
Yeah.
So look what happens when we put the stresses on the first syllable in the word.
That makes sense.
Are we doubling this?
No.
No. Look what happens when the stress is on the second syllable of the word.
We double it.
We are doubling it.
Wow.
Yep. We've done a lot of work with words like hop and hope and one-syllable words, other one-syllable words, but it's important to look at two-syllable words and figure out, because you're going to come across in your life words like this. And you want to say, well, I'm right at the beginning. And now you're wondering, do I double the N or not? What do? Where's the stress? In this word, where's the stress?
Begin.
Begin.
Do we say begin?
No,
or do we say begin?
Begin. I'm a begin.
So because the stress is on the second syllable, the syllable closest to the suffix, we are going to double it. How about this one?
Open.
Will we double it or not?
Opening.
Yeah? Somebody tell me this word with the stress here. David?
Open.
Somebody tell me this word with the stress here.
Open.
Right. So when we purposefully switch the stress, we can clearly see that this is the way we pronounce this word, and that's where the stress is. And so if the stress is on the syllable farthest from the suffix, we aren't going to be doubling that N.
Wow.
We are going to double it here. The stress is here, close to the suffix.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Which gets us back to, we haven't anybody put infer. So now that we're clear about preferring and why that R and how it doesn't belong here, let's move on. Infer. Kira. And will you be ready for referee?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that, all she had to put up was the prefix, because this is just a word with two morphemes, right? A prefix and a base. Referee. And different.
Hey, that's a suffix?
Yeah.
Really?
Absentee. We do see it in a lot of.
I used it as a suffix, but I thought I was joking about
All right, Alexis, next one, different.
joking.
And offered. Offered, Kate? All right, now how come you only had to put a suffix up?
Because the prefix is already there.
Prefix is already there. No point in us writing the same prefix more than once. Okay, and now inference.
Someone's already nice to do it for us. Thank you, Bob.
And
So with inference, the IN prefix is already here. Of course, the base is here, and the ENCE suffix is already here. The same for reference.
Reference.
Okay. What about confer? Already represented here, isn't it? And so we're down to suffering. Is suffering represented here?
Yeah. Nope.
No. Mary? Yeah. Cool. Go around. So we've got inference, reference, and confer already spoken for. It's a cool thing about the matrix. There's actually even more words than we started with represented here. Because we already have an ing suffix up there. Cool. Cool. Now, up here, do you see the difference between a word where we would have one F and a word where it would appear we had a double? We don't have a double. We have one in that morpheme and one in this morpheme. Okay? D-I-F-F. I know that in your past when you've been trying to remember how to spell things, I don't know, is that one F or two? Well, now you can know. If you know the prefix and know the base, you know exactly that there's one with that and one with this morpheme. All right? Any questions about anything we've talked about?